Kind of YouTube, Nigeria Info 99.3 is how you can watch this, right? Nigeria Info 99.3 on Facebook and on YouTube. Let's start with the Vanguard newspaper. Yes, page 8 of the Vanguard. Obi, I have received over 200 death threats. APC spokesman Moka.
Okay, let me add my own. I've received over 1,000. I mean, this issue of death threats on both sides, I'm sorry to say, probably to some extent, shows that both sides don't know the importance and the consequences of saying that you have received death threats. And I think that the DSS has to step in. These are two public figures, and the DSS needs to find out for sure, with proof and evidence, that they have actually received death threats. But in the interim, I'm going to appeal to all sides to please stop charging up the environment. When you say you have received death threats, then actually it should go with a letter or a letter of complaints to the DSS and the police for them to investigate. I am not saying either of them is lying. No, that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm just trying to say is that I hope that this is, in the first instance, I hope it's not true anyway. But I also hope that, they would be able to prove these should the need arise. Okay, so what has been happening is that Peter Obi said since he criticized the government, he's been receiving some death threats. And then the gentleman called Moka had already said publicly that Obi had crossed the line. Now, when you say somebody has crossed the line, the implications are very, very weighty and heavy if you want to take it serious. If you want to look at it as political brickbats, you might overlook it. But I think that in these things, we must have a sense of seriousness. Because, look, a threat to anybody could destabilize the environment. If, for example, it is proven that Peter Obi has been receiving death threats from most likely identifiable sources, is a cause for worry. And if Moka, who is also an official of a political party, can show that he's been receiving death threats from identifiable sources, it is source for worry. Because one thing that we all know is that ideally all of us should have that desire to keep the sanctity of life. I don't know what life issues we will have that will lead to one person wanting to kill the other. The authorities also need to identify if these threats are real, not necessarily who set them, but if there is a plan. I received a death threat in the course of my job here, and I didn't announce it or anything, but the authorities did their job. I've received two in my recent career, the two cases like that, and I must give credit to the authorities. One was in, I think, around 2008 or so, and of course I reported it, and the investigation was done. So I'd please like us to be a bit careful in these things that we say. There's a lot of brickbats about the issue. I don't want to waste your time on that, but I would please plead that let's talk about things. If these threats are indeed not really real, then let's stick to talking about issues. And the APC spokesman, Peter Obi, has not crossed any line. He just begun. Peter Obi has not crossed any line. In politics, he's just begun. And what is he saying? He is providing an alternative to what the party in power is doing, that is yielding very little dividend. That's the honest to God truth. So you can't say he has crossed the line. You might find him irritable. That's your business. We have a country to run. There is a country to run. There are people to take care of. People are dying and falling ill. All kinds of things are happening to people. They are frustrated. So if you have somebody who is telling you that this is the way to go, I don't like this idea of politicians thinking their way is the only way. No. It can't be the only way. And of course, all of us know that you started on the wrong note. And continuously, there's a sense of worry. I'm not taking sides with the B, I'm taking sides with the truth. The average person is worried. I mean, Sheriff, are you not worried?
Very true.
Very true. We're worried. We don't know what to do. The other day, the president said that he's going to drop inflation from 35 to 15%. At the first bank seminar, by those who know yesterday, it was laughable. Where you had the likes of Bismarck and so on and so forth, it was laughable. That how can you want to drop 35? So these things, these things get us worried. I'm sorry to go to this one we had yesterday. At a time when you have limited funds, you are ready to pay certain retired persons $23,000 as extra code, not even the cost of medical. If you want to give general system, why don't you go get an insurance policy and pay the premium? A policy that includes evacuation should the need arise. So that because the premium, if you get a policy for X amount, then the premium will be little. You can say, we are going to give them a comprehensive insurance policy, which includes evacuation. But you've already given them an open blanket. Nobody does that. These things worry us. These things cumulatively drain our resources. You had a governor the other day, he said he wanted to renew his vows. He invited virtually all the so-called VIPs in the country. Who foot that bill? Even if he did, some of the VIPs who would have come with public funds. And then there's something called the optics. If you want to renew your vows, take your wife on a cruise, and within small limited family of 20, 30 people, you can even renew your vows in the bedroom. And we don't get it. And it is important that those in power should know that a lot of us are worried. It's not a matter of supporting this or supporting that. We are supporting ourselves. We are supporting our lives. We are being selfish. We want to be well taken care of, and we are not. We are not. And we talk palliatives. There's so much talk in the air and very little action. And so when Obi gives his suggestions on things like this, the best you can do if you feel so embarrassed is to keep mute. Not to come and start saying he has crossed the line. Which line?
I have a message here from Shagun. Shagun says the APC government is intolerant of criticism and opposition voices. It's 180 days after Agric Minister promised crashing food prices, yet no show. If you point that out, they will start attacking you.
Do you know what the optics are? It shows that even they don't have a solution. Because if you are sure of what you're doing, you will not be irritable. That is the way. If the spokesperson doesn't know what he has done, is to show that it appears as if the APC itself doesn't have an alternative to what they're doing, which is yielding very little dividend. And when you hear from the top that you want to drop inflation, I'm not an economist, but hey, from 35 to 15 in 365 days. I mean, come on. Well-crafted speeches do not make good governance. They don't. So Obi has not crossed the line. But by the same token, please let us try and bring down the heat from this issue of death threats. Have I said it nicely?
Oh, yeah, I was going to say that, actually.
But I took it out of your mouth.
Which is not fair.
Because the gods had told me that's what you're
It's not fair. We should not allow them to take us to where we don't know. Issue of death threats, you may think that it's just a newspaper, the media thing. Sometimes it goes beyond that.
It goes beyond that.
So let's not encourage it. Muka said what he said. The Obi supporters that Muka, was referring to in this report, let's all, step it down a little bit. And
also, Sheriff,
yes,
you know that if we continue to focus on this narrative, we'll miss the main issue. It's diversionary is a distraction. Let's just focus on how we can get this government to do right.
Right.
So that we don't have collateral damage before we even attempt to think that if we are not happy, we might. But if care is not taken and we go along this trajectory, there could have been so much collateral damage that there will be nobody willing to come in to clear the mess that would have been created.
Yes, indeed. Let's go to the Vanguard page 3. It's an editorial in the Vanguard newspaper. The Sanwo-Olu effect continues. Sanwo-Olu Hamza administration continues to harvest of projects across Lagos. A full page editorial.
Let me be honest with you. Yes, there has been a harvest of projects. I make bold to say that. And I think I mentioned it about 2-3 weeks ago. I had to go to an area called Alakuko. And that's the benefit of Google Maps because there was a lot of traffic on the main road. It took me through the nooks and crannies of Agege. And what I saw left my mouth wide open. A lot of work has been done by this government in that area. A lot of work. Indeed, I had to call one of the commissioners who knows how critical I am to tell him to pass a message to the governor that I appreciate what has been done. I also hear that the Lagos-Badagry axis, a lot of work is going on. So we give them credit for that. But the part I don't understand is how you ignore the low-hanging fruits. Like traffic control, road discipline, that sometimes leads to deaths. The Lagos state government has found it impossible to stop one-way driving on Kata Bridge since this governor came to power. We've been happy. When Fashola was here, there was discipline on the roads. We will say these things. They've done a lot of work in tiring roads. Indeed, I was so impressed. I got my good friend Kabiawu to contact the APC chairman in Lagos for him to come here for us to show appreciation for the work they have done in that area. And indeed, to some extent, the environment. But the low-hanging fruits, the one that affects people, seems to be ignored. How can you have in the center of the city motorbikes that you have banned driving against traffic day and night? How can you have in 2024, all the way back from 2023, driving in darkness all the way from Ikorodu Road to Marina until it gets to the point where the governor's house is? The governor's area is well lit. If you drop a pin in that area, you will pick it. If you could provide light in those areas, why can't you provide light for the common people? Just today, there were about 4 trailers. And most of our vehicles don't even have backlights and they have smoke covering everywhere. It was a threat to my life. In fact, yes. And in the process of trying to slow down, to park, to let these things go, to find your way in the dark, if you're not careful, you'll be hit from behind. We've been on this thing over and over and over again. But yesterday, because I would not let them rest, I called one of the commissioners and he told me that we are doing something about it. But he didn't tell me what exactly they are doing. And now I'm making an opening challenge to the man in charge to come to this radio station and explain to Nigerians why the state is in darkness and what exactly they are going to do. Do I have your permission to do that?
Yes, please. 100%. Who is the man in charge?
There must be some commissioner in charge of maybe
Okay.
for transport or whatever. I'll go back to the commissioner of information. We challenge him to come here next week and tell us why the state is in darkness. We are not even sure how many, we don't keep statistics. The number of accidents that would have happened just because a major road from Ikorodu Road all the way to he's going to explain that. And how they were able to light up from the governor's side all the way to VI. If the governor's house had been in, the governor's area had been in darkness, my complaints would be limited. I would say there's a general problem. But back to this, what this has done, I can testify to the fact that yes, a lot of work has gone on. This one focuses on Ikeja GRA, but a lot of work, especially in the Agege area. Somebody cynically said, oh, it was Ambode that, for me, it's neither here nor there. It's the Lagos state government, and luckily, it's been the same party that has been in power, so they can take that credit. But please, these low-hanging fruits, that's how we spoke about Ijora until everybody suddenly discovered that there was a city there. At Ijora, when the commissioner said, he found out that they even had a ballet. So please, light up this. It's for people's safety.
Right.
And ironically, those in power should know that you never know the day even you or one of your relatives would have to ply that place in darkness. It doesn't sound right. It doesn't look right. There are solar systems you can put. There are things you can put in the interim to make this place safe for our people. It's always so sad, at 5:36 in the morning, you see all these rickety downfalls stocked with people, and people stuck like sardines, going to work in pitch darkness. Very sad. So, Excellency, thank you for this one, but we reserve a bit of those thanks until you light up the road.
Right. In the Vanguard page 9, we have another story here. I grew from Almajiri School to become CEO of NNPC, Mele Kyari.
Yeah, this is a bright story, from Almajiri School, and then he went all the way to become the CEO of NNPC. So it was his 60th birthday yesterday, and he said that Allah by His grace spared my life to this exceptional day, making it my 60th year from birth, even much earlier on the Hijri calendar. Happy birthday to you, sir. What I also need to bring to your attention is that Nigerians have been very skeptical about tenure in NNPC. A lot of us believe that NNPC has been less than transparent. So you'd have to do something to work on that. And your image, I don't know, what do you call them now? Your corporate comms person or whatever, who went and publicly invited Obasanjo to come and inspect the refinery, should be taught a bit of manners. Certainly not the way to handle a sensitive issue like the Port Harcourt refinery. Whatever anybody thinks about Obasanjo, in this instance, he's a former head of state, he's a former president, and he's an elder statesman. Whether you like him or not, those facts are sacred, and he should be accorded the respect that he deserves in that regard. If you have other issues, you can bring it up between you and him. But in this story, what caught my attention, Sheriff, is the story here that says that Okukwe apologizes to Kyari over past comments on NNPC. And in a statement, because Dr. Okukwe has been issuing all kinds of statements in support of this government recently, and I hope that somebody calls the president's attention to this. Remember that Dr. Okukwe was the head of Peter Obi's campaign. He hasn't decamped. He issues statements almost on a daily basis. Some of them make you chuckle and make you wonder what all this is all about. But and he said, I write today with a deep sense of humility and genuine admiration for the remarkable achievements of Mele Kyari. And he says that it is no secret that I, along with others, was once a vocal critic of NNPC and its leadership. In fact, like my former boss, Obasanjo, I shared the belief that nothing positive could come from the NNPC, and I openly expressed skepticism over his ability to deliver on his promise. I was at that time dismissive of the leadership of Mr. Mel Kyari. And so it now says that, however, the remarkable and multidimensional achievements of Mr. Kyari and his team have reshaped my perspective. Over the past few years, I've watched with astonishment as NNPC has made tangible strides in transforming Nigeria's oil and gas sector. Dr. Okukwe has been issuing nice, beautiful statements, virtually in support of President Tinubu. I think it's about time somebody called the president's attention to that. That is what happens when you talk about precedents. I don't know. When you think about people like Bwala and so on and so forth. He has been taking an appointment and he was in the PDP. It would be nice to round it up with a strong LP person to have a well, full-rounded government.
Let's go to the Guardian newspaper.
So, for me,
Yeah.
the lesson is do not, I repeat, do not line up behind any politician in terms of policy and principles that they propagate unless you believe in those things that are being said at that time. Chicken.
Okay.
Because I know how, when we were all running on the ground during Nadeco, I know how I personally felt when Jack Onde took an appointment with Abacha. That's the way Nigeria goes.
It is the way, yes. The Guardian is next. Page 3. No plan to revive Nigeria air deal with Ethiopian Airlines, FG declares.
I'm one of those who believes that the government shouldn't have an airline. I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's going to work. We all know that government never handles any business well. So I believe what government should do is to hands off. Rather, what I think and would rather have them do is get one of the national airlines, one or two of them, and prop them up in ways in which they can to make them represent us in the airspace. If you allow politicians from one to the other, if you allow them to think that they can set up a proper airline, it will not work. We saw what happened with Nitel. We've seen what has happened with others. So it is important for us to tell Festus Keyamo and his Oga that please shelve the idea of this airline, at least for now. Work with the airlines, the current ones that you have, give them all the backing that you have in terms of management and whatever, so you can give them a push. I don't think it's the British government that owns British Airways. I don't think so. I don't think so. Maybe they'll have some nominal shares in it, but I don't think so. But they're giving the full support and full backing. That is what we all know what happened during the Buhari's time with Sirika and where we found ourselves. So I'd like to tell Festus Keyamo, please just drop it and work with the private airlines that you have and see if there are one or two of them that we can assist in various ways to fly our flag. We don't want you to set up a Nigeria Airways only for another government to come back and say we want to sell it. Then they sell it at half price.
After all those monies.
Yes.
Okay. Let's take our next story on this same page. Tinubu celebrates cultural icon Quadry at 90.
Yes. Happy birthday to Pa Frank Mokwede, who, yes, it is true, is a cultural icon. Those of you who have a bit of a sense of history will know that I think he's written one or two books and plays, and he's had a very, very successful career in his active lifetime. At 90, I think he's just fully retired now. And I think his son is also flying the flag of their name. And so we wish him a happy birthday and many, 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 many more years ahead.
Amen. Happy birthday, Grandpa.
Do you want to be 90?
I want to be 120. No. I want to be 145. 145. My grandpa was 145.
Are you kidding me?
Yes, my grandma was 135.
No. This is not like death rate.
No.
It's for real.
For real.
145.
Yes. My grandma was 135.
Are you serious?
No jokes. Yes.
145.
Yes.
If what I'm feeling now, by the way, let me announce that I'm going on break next week.
Next week?
I'm tired.
That's too abrupt now. On a Thursday.
I said I'm tired.
Let's move it to next month now. Let's just do January.
I don't want to faint.
You not faint?
I don't want to faint. Anyway, we'll talk about it. I wanted to drop the bomb. Here.
But what is? I mean, anytime I You don't even look your age. What is the secret? What is
There's no secret. It's the glory of God. What else would it be?
if people have come again?
No,
eh?
but what does
Everything is the glory of God, but
see,
man has to do
in this
something.
in this case, because I've lived what you might call a hard life. I've been a strong drinker, you know. I don't like the way you're looking at me. I've had my own share of alcohol and all kinds of things. I don't still like the way you're looking at me. Will you look
Okay,
straight?
all right.
So and in all honesty, it's a miracle to me. But I manage myself, you know.
Yeah.
I try so hard to manage, especially my mental health. I know they do pass as I fit, you know. Like they say, know thyself, not the kill person.
Yeah.
So once you do all that, but people turn up with health challenges that, you know, they couldn't have prevented. And I've been lucky. I've been lucky in that regard, that I'm sailing through.
Oh wow. Okay.
Whether you're looking, I'm like a vehicle that has been painted and refurbished, but the engine inside is still the same.
That's
I'm like a smoking vehicle.
Well, you don't look like a smoking vehicle.
I'm like a smoking vehicle. Don't be deceived.
We don't see all of that.
Don't be deceived by the exterior. Don't be deceived by the exterior.
Okay, if you say so. But I think that there has to be a secret to healthy life.
To be honest with you, I haven't followed. I eat anyhow. You know, in spite of being diabetic, I take. My doctor shouldn't hear this one now. I will always use the excuse my sugar level is going down. My sugar level. I like to drink a fizzy drink a day, you know, to pep me up. It's just honestly, it's just the grace of God, really.
Okay.
Whether you like it or not, that's what it is.
All right. Let's
Be
go.
like me.
That's why I'm asking. That's because I actually need to know.
There's a part of it that I don't want to announce here, which also helps. At least it keeps your mental health intact.
Okay, I think I have a fair idea.
That one, once your mental health, you take care. That one, nobody's backing at you in the morning, this and that, and you're good to go.
Yeah, I have a fair idea.
You have a fair idea. That's a story for another day.
Okay. Let's go take this trust crime.
Yes,
Metro.
Metro for the trust. We haven't seen Punch in 3 days.
Yeah.
We haven't seen Punch.
Okay. We'll look into it.
We'll look into it. I don't know. Driver nabbed with 59 traffic children in FCT.
I saw the video.
Oh, the 59 children.
Oh my God.
Why didn't you send this thing to me? You're very selfish.
I saw it in the
as
news.
long as you see it,
I saw it in the
they
news. I saw it on TV. Okay.
I can understand some videos you won't want to send to me.
What, like?
I don't know.
I don't have those kind of videos.
You know, that reminds me of the video of that gentleman. I tell you know that one.
Which one?
The video of that guy.
Oh, that guy.
Okay. So, and this person who asked me is listening now. He said, Jimi Joe, can you video to attend Sonia? Video video burning here. That guy. You believe? I don't believe it. You know. Do you by any chance have video? I don't. Oh dear. Family of 4 dogged over assault on female cop. Man electrocuted while attempting to vandalize transformer in Edo. There's not much news in this. There's not much news. It's all about crime.
And on that note, we have to go.
Send me all videos, please.
Which videos?
No, this one that
The
you saw.
children. I'll get it. I'll get it and send to you. I'll get it. All right, but you're back at 9.
Guess what?
What?
We are doing the story on the general's remuneration at 9.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
It will be examined thoroughly.
Thoroughly. All right. We'll see you at 9 then. Let's leave the room for Kofi to come back in for the continuation of the Morning Crossfire. Lagos, thank you so much for staying tuned. But we're not done. Kofi is next with the last 1 hour of the Morning Crossfire. Stay here, please.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.